Hi, and welcome back to the Global Holistic Podcast channel. This is The Conversation Continues. And as the name implies, the conversation is continuing because what we posted last week, which we just stopped recording, so that's why if you watched us last week and you're watching us again this week, thank you, by the way. But that's why we are both still in same Z matching outfits from last week, because we decided to just keep the conversation going and create a part two since
we didn't want to stop.
too much to talk about. So the topic last week, for those of us who are tuning in who did not join us, and if not, go back, you're going to want to catch that one, a lot of good stuff. But we were talking about how to make big changes in your life, and we were talking about the buzzword manifestation, or maybe using different kinds of terminology like goal setting or creating a new version of you. You're just kind of in this space of manifesting a new world and how to get there, how to build that bridge from who you are now to who you want to be.
Right.
All right, let's get into it. So one fun thing, as we are mommies and daughters and both total wellness nerds, where I think maybe the only person I know actually at this point who will nerd out as much as I will about a good book is you. We both re-listened to, because we both listened to it back in the 90s, but The Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence Scovel Shinn. Scovel Shinn? I think I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. But I just want to say that she wrote this book in 1925. And if she was a guy, you would know her name and you would know how to pronounce it. And I would know how to pronounce it.
Don't get started on that.
Because she impacted a lot of good psychologists and a lot of great thinkers who were white men, and we do know their names, not
agree
about that. But anyways, let's honor her that she wrote this in 1925. We are going to put a link to the audio book down below, because since it's 100 years, it is public domain, so it is free, and now you can listen to it. It's only 2 hours long if you want to take a listen, but our asterisk here is that it is Christian based, and we are not saying that you have to look at this work through the lens of Christianity. That was just the popular religion of the time when she wrote it. But I think there's enough good stuff in there that even if you're not Christian, if you're not religious at all, you're still going to really enjoy listening to it if you enjoy this kind of positive thinking and manifestation and how to make some great positive changes in your life. So
I've definitely offered this to my clients over the years with that information, saying, just listen to it with an open mind, and whatever your belief system is, you can get the understanding of that, power of thought, belief. And I do think it is helpful when we have some kind of a belief in a power greater than ourselves. For those who are on, a specific religious path or spiritual path, I think it's easier. So if that's not your path, it's still very, very good to think positive and to have the power of belief that everything works out for you, or that there's some kind of synchronicity in your life. So I think it ties into all of that. I do my best to listen and re-listen probably once a year. That's how much I enjoy The Game of Life and How to Play It. I feel she was someone very special of her time. And I mean, people went to this woman for
ahead of time.
healing, for health, for financial healing, for relationships, and they received help from her. She was offering a way for them to tap into their personal power. And
That is the New Age movement, actually, when you think about it. She's just not credited for it. But go ahead.
I couldn't agree more, Jay. And I really feel that a lot of my teachers, I'll bet she was their teacher. So I think it's worth a listen.
Just want to say, for those of you who know the name Alan Watts, I'm pretty sure Alan Watts was one of her students. I'll have to fact check that. I will fact check that. I might be wrong about that.
So okay, where we left off last week, we were talking about that formula for success, that thought, belief, action. And we were really getting into how the thought is where it all begins. When we start to get clear and specific on a target. I once had a teacher said, how could you hit a target that you don't have. And even more than that, if you have a target, if you were blindfolded, would you be able to see it? No, you can't hit a target you can't see. So we want to get clear on what it is that we're hoping to attract. And once we do, we talked about how we must feel it in real time, as though it's already happening now. So we tap into the areas of our life where we can feel abundant, when we can feel that, wow, everything does work out for me. Maybe you can go back in your life and think about when things worked out for you, so that you can actually have some proof there, so you feel like you're in truth. And we talked about a certain time of day when the parasympathetic nervous system is, already in action, when you first wake up in the morning or right before you go to bed at night, that relaxed state, and then using imagination to visualize and to get as specific as you can. I'm going to recommend that you pick something that is realistic, but I still want you to get excited. So something maybe a little bit outside your comfort zone. We don't want to say, well, I want to manifest $1 million in 30 days. Although I do believe somehow, some way, everything is possible. I want you to believe that it's possible. So we want to get something within your realm of possibility and stretch it a little bit.
Set yourself up for success, and small changes lead to big changes. So if your goal is I want to lose 30 pounds and that's a big goal, then your small change for manifestation might be something like I'm going to eliminate sugar this week, and set yourself up for success so that way you don't feel bad. Because I just think that a lot of people stop before they even really get started because they're like, oh, this isn't working, but it's because they just expect it to happen without the small steps. So give yourself micro steps along the way. Because when you succeed at something, your body floods with all of these feel good hormones, which make you more likely to do the behavior again. But go ahead.
So, I mean, I taught the vision board workshop for about, I don't know, 25 years now. And so many people think it's just cutting out pictures and posting it on a board, and it's so much more than that. And again, going back to that formula of thought, belief, and action. And we do want to get specific with our goals. However, we want to make sure that, like Gina said, you're not setting yourself up for failure. Something that is a stretch, but it's realistic, something that excites you, but you could muster up enough belief to really get into that law of vibration. And I'm going to end my part of it with just a little example and take you through a creative visualization exercise. And I just want to see if, Gina, you want to add anything before I get into that. I'll personally end with that.
That's perfect. So we'll set that up for you to end with a visualization exercise. And I do, of course, have so much to add. But well, because in the interest of time, being focused on the game of life and how to change it and how that kind of impacted everything we talked about last week in our podcast. One thing that I really found interesting in the thesis of that book was just being very mindful of the word and how you speak about you and how you speak about your life in real time, and this power of storytelling, and how, like I said, she was like a psychologist without really calling herself that. But a lot of modalities in psychology that we use today, she was kind of like, touching the surface of that. And I think it inspired a lot of great minds to go deeper. But one of them was that power of word. And so I just wanted to say that in this space of manifestation, when we talked about visualization, and you're going to lead us in a visualization exercise before we end today, but also adding to that the power of word and how we think about things. So how we tell the story in our minds, because we tell the story with words sometimes. Some people think in images, but a lot more people think in words. So really being careful in real time of what you're saying about the goals you're setting, and what you're saying about yourself in real time, and then being even more cautious is what she would argue about what you say verbally out loud. And she even said, I mean, and she backs this up, like I said, she's Christian based, so she backs this up with Christian philosophy and some passages from the Bible. But she even says it's almost like what inspired magic and this kind of idea of abracadabra, that words actually have power. So in the last podcast, when I was saying it's not magic, it's neuroscience, and there is science that backs it up, I do believe that. But what she was touching on is there's this part of speaking your truth into existence that she has seen over and over again with clients that she couldn't quite put her finger on how it worked. She just knew that it worked, and that she looked to ancient texts and ancient Christian texts to support that basically speaking your truth, it creates your reality. So just what we want to be very careful is how we say something. So there's a difference in saying like, man, I always fuck up, I fucked this again, or something like, I didn't really sleep last night, and so I sent the wrong email. Oops. I'll just do that again. And I practice parts work and internal family systems, and that's big on language as well, because you never want to say that you are something. You want to say there's a part of you that is something, and that also helps rewire and rework the belief systems. So I know that's a lot because we only have a little bit amount of time today, and we definitely can do a podcast down the road, more on speaking the word and narrative therapy and parts work as well. But I just wanted to highlight that this is all integrative, and so this visualization exercise is a piece of it. But if you really want to take last week's podcast and this week's podcast and roll with it, I challenge you. My exercise this week would be careful what you say, and only say things that you want to be true. So don't speak your fear. If you're afraid about something, don't run around telling everybody that you're terrified your kids are going to get in a car accident. Just speak your truth that your kids are healthy and you're in gratitude that your kids are safe. That would be a good example. So start to catch yourself in real time, the stories that you're thinking about, the fantasies that you're having that are actually coming from fear, and take that back. And last week we talked about coming from the heart versus coming from fear. Have those stories come from the heart, and have those words come from the heart this week. So really, really, really be careful about what you speak and what you think. And then we're going to end today with a visualization exercise.
Right. Right. And there's actually a book too, another book called The Law of Attraction that, you can dive in a little deeper. There's, so much information. Okay, so here's the fun part. You're going to get to relax. And what I'm going to do is give you a condensed version, truly to take you through. I would do a minimum, of 15 minutes, to probably 30, 45 minutes. On our channel, though, I do have one recorded, and it'll take you all the way through, and it has the word manifesting in it, so you'll just look for that. Okay, so go ahead and get comfortable, and let's start by just taking a nice deep inhale and a high exhale. And for the next few moments, go ahead and close your eyes and just start connecting with your breath. So right now, all you're going to do is notice your breath. You're not speeding it up or slowing it down. You're just noticing. Noticing the inhale and noticing the exhale. And now let's start to increase the quality of breath by simply slowing it down. Slowing the inhale. And let's make that exhale just a little bit longer. And just feel the weight of your body being supported wherever you're sitting or perhaps even laying down. Feeling a little bit more relaxed, a little bit calmer. And now you're going to allow yourself to simply drift off. Go ahead and drift off to any magical place you choose. It could be a place you've been before, or it could be a fantasy place that you completely create in your mind. But somewhere that feels heavenly to you. And do your best to notice your surroundings, this beautiful, beautiful paradise that you picked. Notice details. The colors are vivid, maybe even the smells are sweet. Just start to look around. Maybe you're going to feel the texture of whatever's underneath your feet. It's maybe grass or sand, or basically you want to feel it, not just see it. Imagine feeling the temperature of the air against your skin, and there's a gentle, soft breeze. Feels so good. and it feels so good to be here. Now, wherever you are, I want you to imagine walking toward this chair that seems to be waiting just for you. And see yourself walk over to that chair and have a seat. And as soon as you sit down in that chair, you feel this wave of relaxation go right through your spine. It feels incredible. And each time you inhale and exhale, you're going to relax even more. Deeper and deeper relaxed. And from this place of calm, go ahead and bring to mind something that you would love to manifest for yourself. A wish, a dream, a desire. Bring it to your mind, and just one. And now imagine that this desire, this wish, this dream, imagine that it happened right now. It is so. So let's say that you're imagining a certain financial freedom. There's a certain amount of money that you're going to imagine you're looking at your balance in your checking account and you're seeing that number there. Or perhaps you're manifesting improved health, and maybe you're feeling stronger and healthy, or perhaps you're getting word from your physician that everything is just perfect and as it should be. Whatever it is, imagine that you did it. Your manifestation came true and you're experiencing it right now. What are you feeling? Allow that feeling of gratitude to not just be felt in your heart or thought about in your mind, but see if you can feel gratitude through every cell in your body. It happened. You have been gifted with this dream, this desire, and you're experiencing it right now. What does it feel? And so just allow yourself to stay with that feeling of gratitude, that joy. Maybe there's even a smile on your face. Maybe there's even a tear in your eye. What does it feel like? What would you be experiencing it? And hold on to it as much as possible. And you stay with it and stay with it. And now just take another inhale and exhale. And now go ahead and release that wish, dream, desire, just letting it go. Imagine it's going out into the universe now. And you're letting it go for highest and best for all concerned. I like to call that my spiritual insurance policy. That way, if whatever it is that I'm trying to manifest, if for some reason I don't see or know that it is highest and best, then I would actually be hoping that it doesn't happen. So then you just let that go. And you take a few moments just staying calm. And then again, for time's sake, you'll just now blink your eyes open. And that's basically the condensed, very condensed version. But you get into the relaxed state. You visualize as specifically as possible. You get into that feel good feeling, and then you release it. And the longer you can hold it, the more effective. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope you have a smile on your face right now and you feel amazing to continue your day or your evening. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
And also, there's a longer version online. So if you guys enjoyed that, you can hit up our meditations tab on our YouTube channel, and there are more visualizations to follow along with. And as always, thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, you can email us at globalholisticcoaching@gmail.com, or tell us what you do to manifest. Drop those comments in the comments below. And if you are interested in learning more about us or some of the courses that we also offer some wonderful in-person retreats. Our website is www.globalholisticwellness.com. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye-bye.